Wonder Achievers is a comedy podcast. We're just three friends hanging out in an apartment talking about whatever's on our minds. That being said, there may be some strong language, sexual references, and irreverent humor. This is all for the sake of comedy, entertainment, and the free expression of ideas. Thanks for listening. Now on to the episode.
And honestly, I'm kind of excited for karaoke tonight. I think I'm gonna sing a song I haven't sang in a while. I don't know.
What's your go-to karaoke song? Like, what do you bust out if there's if there's somebody in the bar you want to impress or something, or you're just looking to have a good time?
Blink-182?
No,
Blink-182?
I've never sang Blink-182 karaoke.
You just bust out all the small things?
Every 90s fucking pop-punk song is Blink-182, even if it's by another person.
It's actually
It all sounds the same, man.
it's not true.
Well, you know, you got your Good Charlotte. You got your All-Time Low.
Yeah.
You got your Sum 41. Sum 41 was like, see, they had different flavors because you had Blink-182 is just like, if you think of just like they're like the immature, always want to stay young and just party pop punk. Green Day is just like pure pop punk, like in its purest form. Sum 41 were a little angry, a little political. Green Day can be political sometimes too, but you know, Sum 41 was like the angry, I hate my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Simple Plan was pop punk if you're from Canada. Well, Sum 41's from Canada too.
Yeah.
Damn, that doesn't work.
I don't know. Usually Canadians, when it comes to punk, usually their punk's a little faster and harder. So it's weird that Simple Plan came from Canada.
Yeah,
So-
it's like the songs they play on Letterkenny whenever they get into fights. Those like punky alternative song, like indie rock songs that they play on Letterkenny. Some of those are fire.
Yep.
It's all the same shit. Man, listen to the fucking American Pie soundtrack. That is 90s music. It all sounds like that.
You can't discredit like gangster rap though. That was 90s.
R&B.
All right.
90s R&B was great. Yeah.
Okay,
Grunge?
I'll
Grunge. Yeah, you can't say that Nirvana and Blink-182 are the same.
Grunge is like the greatest genre of music we've ever gotten. Well, outside of blues.
Yeah, Grunge was good. Let's all spend the rest of the money in our bank accounts. We're gonna spend it all on flannel shirts and gas money, and we're gonna move to Seattle, live in a loft with like 8 other people, and just start a noise rock band.
That's the dream. That is the dream.
My entire closet's filled up with flannel, man.
You're halfway there. You got a head start
I'm
on
living
this.
the grunge experience, man, and I can tell you, grunge fucking sucks.
Yeah,
It's
but
all a fantasy.
Yeah, you're grungy. It's different.
Oh, there's some good grunge bands, but Nirvana's just the fucking Beatles of the 90s, man. Over fucking rated.
Nirvana. Okay. Here's the thing. I think Nirvana is rightly overrated. Similarly to how the Beatles. I think the Beatles are overrated. I agree with that. But I think they deserve to be overrated. But it doesn't change the fact that they're overrated. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it depends too on what you like. Cause like for me, you know, I like Nirvana's harder stuff. So like, you listen to Terrestrial Pissing and Aneurysm and anything that's punkier in that sense. Like that's good Nirvana stuff. You know, but it's underground. It's not as famous.
Like I agree. I like whenever they are like show their like punk roots. Like Nirvana never sounded like Pearl Jam. It's like weird that those two bands are considered like the same genre.
Yeah.
Like Pearl Jam and Nirvana. It's like it's kind of like how like the Dead Kennedys and the Ramones are both like punk, but
Yeah.
they're so different though.
Yeah, like they're like in the same genre, but that's I guess in a sense that's where you have to create like subgenres. You know,
yeah,
to
with
help.
Eddie Vedder and Kurt Cobain, you can't understand a fucking word they say.
That's actually the key thing. That's what makes you grunge. Is you don't understand what they're singing about.
Yeah, but everybody's like, oh, it really speaks to me.
That's because they read along with the album insert while they listened to the CD. It's poetry, man. You got to read it.
You know, and Pearl Jam had to be hard to understand because they talked about deep topics like homelessness. They talked about suicide.
Like nobody. See, here's the reason why Eddie Vedder mumbled every word he said. Nobody wants to hear about that shit. Most depressing thing in the world. Nobody wanted to hear about that. They just wanted to have a good time and listen to the fun rock music.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be sad or deal with issues that are going on in their own life. So Eddie Vedder hit all of that with,
Well,
with his mumble.
If they didn't want to be
No.
sad, they could have just fucking moved out of Seattle.
It does
I think-
rain there all the
I
time.
think
Yeah,
somewhere
I've
where it's
heard.
not raining 90% of the time, your mood might be a little better.
But Seattle's so pretty. I mean, I've never been there, but like it looks pretty.
Yeah,
Even if it
Twilight
does
was
rain,
cool.
it's got this like. Nah, I'm not gonna jump on that.
I mean, it's real pretty, man, but I mean, it's constantly in a fucking state of being destroyed.
Isn't Seattle where the the autonomous zone
Yeah, Chaz.
right now? Chaz, yeah. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
The autonomous zone, and so there was like, wasn't it just like protesters, protesting police brutality, and didn't the mayor basically say, fine, if you don't want any police, then this area, this like block that you're in, we just won't police it, and you guys can handle it yourselves. And then some fucking rapper became like a warlord who's like doing like vigilante justice on these like white people that just want to like eat avocado toast and like hold hands in Seattle. He's like
He's
going around
handing out-
roughing them up, and he's like, I'm the police now.
There's videos of him handing out fucking guns, AR-15s and shit, man. It's fucking awesome.
He's building an army.
Dang, this is like what's that game that came out recently? It was called it's like where you take over territories in like New York or like a New York like setting.
Division?
Division, yeah, it's like Division.
I guess I haven't looked into that. What's it about?
It's like territorial wars in the system itself. It's online.
So is it like gang wars, but to like the extreme?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
okay.
everybody's involved.
Yeah, like everyone's in a gang. It's
Yeah.
not just like gangsters. It's like everybody is a gangster. Basically.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the superheroes in Chaz?
No, I haven't. I kind of haven't been reading about it the past
You guys
couple
know Phoenix Jones?
days. Mm-mm.
You've probably seen, he's this black guy who's like trained in MMA, but he started dressing up as a superhero and just walking around and beating the shit up out of people doing crimes. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen him at some point, man. Look, it's basically the movie Kick-Ass.
Okay.
But, and he gave up the superhero life, and I guess he's been selling drugs now recently. But whenever the whole
The
Seattle...
real heroes.
Yeah, whenever Chaz started, I guess he went down there and put on his superhero stuff and was going around being a superhero around there. Well, there's another group that he was associated with before he started doing criminal shit that are saying, like, no, if we see him, we're going to whoop his ass because he's a criminal too. So basically, there's a group of superheroes wandering around, and there's an actual supervillain.
Let's not.
So Chaz has got they can't keep any sort of supplies going. They have a warlord giving guns out, and now they have basically the fucking Justice League fighting a supervillain.
I think that's giving these people way too much credit, calling them actual superheroes.
You know who else is crazy? Batman. Vigilante. You can just see it all around. Everybody wants to be Batman, but nobody's got the money. So.
I mean, they are
I mean,
actually
these are all broke ass Batman.
technically they are stopping crimes, man. They're
Are
just
they?
go-
Are they really doing like a good job, or are they just like?
I mean, I'm not gonna say they're probably doing the same level as police, but
Yeah.
I mean, basically they just walk around a couple blocks and beat up anybody they see doing any crimes.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because I mean, if you're not doing anything wrong, you can just wave at them and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know.
I don't know. I think
Cool.
I'd prefer to get fucking arrested, man. Like, if I'm doing any sort of crime, I think I'd be just confused. A guy walking up in a fucking leather suit he made and beating the fuck out of me.
Would you do it again?
I mean, probably. Just to see if it happens again, man.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just kind of the mayor doing that it's pretty funny, honestly.
It is kind of funny to be like, okay, well, this is what you want, then here you go, just have it. You want lawlessness, or I guess not necessarily lawlessness, because they're trying to prove a point. They're trying to prove that without police, people can be good, can have like a safe community where they all take care of each other, and they're trying to prove that they don't need police. But there's some people that are coming up in there and they're like, are you sure? We're gonna test that theory. We're gonna test if you don't need police.
I mean, that fucking Raz, the warlord, he's basically doing what would happen if you didn't have police. It's just a bunch of random people are going to be like, okay, I guess we got to get guns and make sure nothing too crazy happens.
Do you know what kind of crimes they've stopped? Like, do they see someone like
the only
shoplifting
video
and they
of
just like kick their ass?
The only video I saw was like
no, not in my house.
some white Antifa guys were spray painting the police precinct that was abandoned in Raz. Or I think it was one that got burned down or something. But they were spray painting it, and he came up and was like, "No, we're not gonna fucking do this. I don't want spray paint all over these buildings."
He's like, I'm trying to gentrify this shit.
Yeah.
You ever heard about property value, motherfucker?
I was like, we could be the richest little zone that we have.
It was fucking 2 days it started, and immediately all of their shit got stolen by homeless people.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
They were basically begging people, like, they have signs up, like, saying, this is the supplies we need. If you can donate, please do it.
Yeah. I also saw that there were some people, like, signing a petition to, like, have the mayor, like, resign because they're like, that's so terrible that you would, like, abandon, like, this community and, like, not police them. And it's like, well, it's kind of what a lot of those people, like, that were there were asking
They
for.
fucking asked for it. Like, what the fuck?
But it's just a crazy situation. I think that the world is kind of things are getting weird.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're kind of so used to having this law over them the entire time, you know. And it's like one of those things when you're a teenager, you know, it's tempting when it's prohibited. You're like, yeah, you know, maybe I'll try it as long as I don't get caught, you know, you know. But whenever it's something that you're not supposed to do and now it's okay and you're not going to get in trouble for it, like, if I was there, I might loot a thing or two. I don't know.
Like you think like not having police will cause like petty crime to just like skyrocket?
I mean,
People
for
will be
a
like,
little bit, definitely, because, like I said, you've never done it before, and you might as well try it. And there's no consequence when there's no such thing as consequences. You know, that's what religion and laws and all these things are for, because they talk about consequences for whatever you do. So when you don't have consequences, you know, there's no regret unless you die or hurt somebody that you care about. But other than that, you know, you think, where's the moral value in doing something that you won't get in trouble for, you know?
What would people here start doing if there were no police? Like, what do you think would be like the first thing that like a bunch of people would like run out and do?
Easily rob Walmart.
Rob Walmart. I mean, that's kind of the only thing here. That's
Yeah.
like that.
Or go to the casino.
See, I was thinking maybe hitting up the casino, but then I'm like, what do you really do there illegally, other than like I guess steal other people's tickets who are like winning?
Yeah.
I don't know how else you would like steal money from a casino, other than like traditionally rob it with like ski masks and guns and stuff.
Yeah, and you know, we're in a smaller community. We're not like a city or anything, so I don't see anything being too crazy.
See, that's why I'm like, what would people do though? You know, it's like there's maybe people would go like steal all the rafts and kayaks down at the river and just like have like a huge river like party, like a big bonfire all up and down the river. No regulations. They can't call the police, so it's like there's like just the river's completely full. You can't even float. Everyone's stuck in place on the river in their raft, partying.
You guys realize this fucking town's flooded with meth. I don't think you're being imaginative enough with the amount of drug problem we have.
I mean, yeah, this is Oklahoma, so meth and opioids are running rampant in our communities, especially in small towns like this.
Yeah, that's
where
true.
there's less, resources for people to less resources for law enforcement and less resources for people to benefit better themselves in ways other than selling drugs. You know, it's a real problem that I think that our government should assess.
I mean, you've seen how many fucking homeless people are in town now, right?
I knew that it was on the upswing before I moved, but I really haven't. Like, I used to know like just John, but now I know that there's also this old lady who like breaks my heart every time I see her. I always see her in the Walmart parking lot, like standing up there, and yeah, it's terrible. And you know what's really terrible is that I've heard that most of the homeless people around here are homeless because they have severe mental illness, and they don't have anyone to take care of them, and it's like hospitals like facilities can't like force them to stay there.
Yeah.
So if they release them, but they don't have anywhere to go, they just end up on the streets.
See, then that's the thing, you know, working at a methadone clinic, you know, we work with people who are dealing with opioid addiction. So when you have to deal with methamphetamines, it's crazy because, excuse me, talking to a lot of the therapists I work with, they say that meth is different. You know, it's been different, like it was different 10 years ago. Now it's a different version, but it's still methamphetamines because it's a Frankenstein drug. You know, you just get cheap supplies, mix them together, burn it a little, you get these chemicals, you just get high, you know. But the thing is, what people don't realize, the reason why it's so hard for them to stay in homeless shelters or even inpatient clinics is because they actually gain, what you were talking about earlier, mental health issues, and the biggest one being schizophrenia, because you destroy your brain. You just destroy your brain, kill a buttload of brain cells, and whatever you started doing drugs, whatever age, your brain's permanently almost at that age.
That's why they call it meth head.
Yeah, meth.
That's why they're called meth heads.
Yeah, because you got a head full of meth.
You got meth on the brain, boys.
Yeah,
It's not pretty.
not pretty at all.
I wouldn't recommend it, and I haven't even experienced it. That's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
When you don't even have to go through something, and you just look at it and you're like, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
It's not like hallucinogenics, you know.
Well, I mean, that can cause you to go crazy too. Like Sid Barrett from Pink Floyd, he like took too much LSD and then like went completely insane.
Really,
Yeah, at least according to all the documentaries.
that's scary. So scary.
Have either of you ever taken hallucinogens?
What? Does an edible count? This is a
Edibles,
weird high.
edibles are more psychoactive than smoking it. It can like border on. I think people have said that they see things like hallucinate like
No,
mildly.
you can have hallucinogenic experiences on edibles. You just have to take a lot. I don't think you took enough to
Yeah, like
have a hallucinogenic experience.
like I saw like like whenever I was chilling, you know, my body was obviously very numb and relaxed, and whenever people walked by me, it was like Tron, you know. They were very slow motion, but then they would like
They
skip.
left like a stream of
Yeah, there's
Like a
tons of
tracer?
Yeah, it was like tracer, like, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's cool. Then when I passed out, because I didn't know edibles lasted forever, so I fell asleep, and there's like, and I kept on dreaming about Thumper from Bambi just hitting a log.
What?
I don't know, it's like his foot was hitting the log. I don't know why I'm thinking of something so innocent, and I was just like, it's like, hey man, I'm trying to go to sleep. My eyes are
Thumper,
closed.
you need to
Literally, it's all darkness, and there's just a giant log with Thumper over here, like whooping the freaking log with his feet. I'm like, dude, it's like 3 a.m.
You're like, come on, man, have some decency.
Come on, man. He'd stop for like 3 seconds, and he'd just do it again. I'm like, dude, you're not listening to me, and this is not cool.
Listen here, rabbit, can you not understand me?
I guess eventually I just went unconscious, but that was the last thing I remembered, and I remembered it. That was the cool thing. And but when I woke up, though, it was the greatest feeling in the world. I thought, I'm so used to waking up after a night of like just going out to the bar and stuff, feeling awful. Even if I'm not drunk, I just feel my body just feels awful. I got to poop or something because all this, you know, alcohol is in my body.
Yeah.
But I woke up like I was floating on clouds. It was nice. Like it was the greatest. Oh, that was the greatest time, I guess. What do you call it? Waking?
The greatest wake up. I
Yeah,
guess.
the greatest wake up I've ever had in my life. I was just like, I felt like I was floating on clouds, and I didn't realize I was in my own couch. It was just like, whoa, my entire body feels like I'm in heaven. Like it's weird.
It's your couch that like it's like a beat up old couch that we've
Yeah.
had forever, and you're just like, damn, is this shit like custom?
Yeah, whose couch am I on? But no, it was awesome. It was one of those weird things where it's like I was very conscious, but my entire body was tingly, and it felt like I was made of cotton candy, and it was nice.
Sounds like you did heroin.
Is that how heroin is?
You're like, oh, did I say I took an edible? I meant I shot up a needle into my arm.
I was wondering why somebody was tying a rubber band around my arm. I just had it there, and I was like, whoa, this is cool.
Oh,
Taking my blood?
They say heroin feels like getting cuddled by God.
Really?
Who says that?
Nikki
Fucking
Six?
heroin addicts?
Nikki Six.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my experience with it. I mean, I don't do anything else. Evan, have you taken a shroom?
No. Not.
I would do
Haven't-
shrooms. I would try it just to experience it.
Man, I'd be so nervous though with actual hallucinogenics. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Psilocybin, though, I've heard that it has like some health benefits. I went and saw this movie that was like it was showing at the Circle Cinema in Tulsa, and it was like, oh, what's that guy's name? Stamets. He's like Dr. Stamets. I remember his last name. I can't remember his first. Paul Stamets. He was on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
And I heard him talking about how good for you mushrooms are. There's all these different mushrooms that have all these different effects on the human body. Like there's this mushroom called lion's mane that can help like nerve tissue, like nerve cells like regrow. So it helps people who like Alzheimer's runs in their family. They might take a little bit of lion's mane every now and then to like, help that not happen to them.
So would that be? So could you microdose and still get? The
Oh
same
yeah,
effect?
microdosing was like a huge deal with like psilocybin. Like people are like, you get all the benefits, but you don't trip.
See, that's what I would like to start doing. But I just know it's illegal. So I don't know, but also I don't know how much to take for it to be a microdose. you know?
Right. Yeah, because like they're talking about doing like medical microdosing where like a doctor actually distributes it to you. That was something that they talked about in that documentary. It was like, why the hell can't I remember that movie's name? It was like Magical Mushrooms or something like that.
Oh.
But it was a documentary all about these mushrooms, and yeah, people like I think they said that they've finally been able to get through some of the red tape and start fucking around with psilocybin again, because they've also given it to people with mental health issues like depression and anxiety, and it helps like alleviate their feelings and like the long term too. But I've heard a lot of crazy things about this type of shit. Like I've heard that like giving DMT to depressed people has like helped them, and I'm like, that sounds freaking insane.
Well, I mean, DMT, it's probably the hardest psychedelic you can do, but it only lasts like fucking 10 minutes.
Which is insane.
So you're tripping your absolute balls off, but
Yeah.
it's like half an episode of Frasier.
I want to use that to measure everything in my life. Like, how long will it take me to do this? It's like half an episode of Frasier. It's like I know you don't want to have sex with me, but come on, it would last like a scene of Frasier.
Solid scene.
Like, how long's the Frasier theme gonna play? Like, yeah.
The theme song. It's like the theme song would not even be over.
I'll toss your salads and scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Yeah, no, psychedelics though be crazy. I mean, it's funny though because like it's getting more popular. I think because now everybody's kind of talking about it. DMT, just kind of seeing people like I was watching. I watched Ronnie Coleman go on the Joe Rogan show, but then I watched the Dorian Yates one. And Dorian Yates, he was the hardcore, the original mass monster in bodybuilding. And then once he got away from that, he started taking drugs and, I say drugs, but just hallucinogenics and, smoking weed and seeing the benefits of it. And I was telling Evan, actually, he's like, people, obviously weed's been demonized for a long time. But the thing is, though, is because weed opens up your bronchioles, you can actually smoke weed before you do a cardiovascular exercise, and you will actually have more endurance. And it actually benefits you better, and you'll have... I think he said he even did it before a workout, like an actual weightlifting workout. And he was able to go longer because he had more oxygen going through his body due to the fact that his bronchioles are open more. So crazy.
Wait, didn't they take away some of Michael Phelps' Olympic medals because he smoked marijuana?
And that makes sense because at this point, marijuana isn't necessarily a stress reliever; it's an enhancer.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like so basically they were right to do that because he was taking
Yeah.
a performance-enhancing drug.
Exactly. For swimming,
Yeah,
So-
like it
Straight-
requires lung strength and capacity. Like that all plays a factor. Like
straight cheater.
yeah, it's like
So,
if anybody could be an Olympic swimmer if they just smoked weed, it's nothing special, Michael Phelps.
so it's good for cardiovascular workouts. So what you're telling me, man, is I'm making the right choice by smoking weed and jerking off.
That's probably why it takes a little bit longer than usual.
Is
No,
that
that's why it takes a little bit less longer because he's so good.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like moving a little faster than normal. His reflexes are a little more spry.
No cramps.
Yeah, exactly. The oxygen is flowing. He's feeling good.
What is that, like the millennial version of a wine before bed? They say that wine's good for your heart, man. Just smoke a fucking joint and jerk off, man. You're gonna live to 80.
It's like,
at
come
least.
on, dude. Don't. It's like, who needs to like get into like autoerotic asphyxiation? Just smoke some weed.
I feel like all of this shit is just, it's just scientists trying to help people feel better about their shitty life choices.
They're like, you can have a little. Our study shows that you can have a little weed, man. They're like, weed is actually terrible for you, but it's like, your life is shit, so have some weed, please.
Yeah.
You're making me sad looking at you.
I mean, the fucking sun's bad for you.
Well, yeah. it's
Every
like
goddamn thing
radiation.
in the world's bad for you. As soon as we come into this world, we start dying.
Well, we can kill you if you smoke 1.5 tons in 15 minutes. You're a goner.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like some crazy ass
Goner.
measurement. Yeah.
But if you did it in 6 minutes, you're still okay. Still okay. But it's one of those deals where we're growing up, and even in the times like where crazy things are happening, like right now, there's I say crazy, it's not crazy, it's I guess appropriate times, but you have the Black Lives movement, Black Lives Matters movement, excuse me, and you have all these people becoming more aware on social media, and you have Anonymous nowadays exposing documents and stuff.
Yo, why is more people not talking about? Excuse me, that sentence is so bad. Why are more people not talking about the court documents that Anonymous leaked that are like alleging that Donald Trump is a pedophile? Like something that has been like rumored and alleged so many times, but now there's like official documentation on it.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to like seriously look into it. It doesn't even shake a Trump supporter's like even it doesn't even make them flinch.
Yeah,
They're like Trump might be a pedophile, and they're like, anybody could have wrote that.
they're like, what does she do to get herself in that position?
Exactly. It's like, what kind of 13-year-old are we talking about? 'Cause some of them out there, they're kind of asking for it.
Well, people should have been talking about this a long time ago, man. Like,
I mean,
fucking
yeah.
Pizzagate got basically proven real with Epstein.
I mean, yeah, people really should have started talking about it with Epstein. I mean, it's been going on forever, but now it's like, it's so blatant, it's so obvious, it's so in everybody's faces, and they still just are like, what's TMZ reporting on, though,
Every single person of power and government and fucking movies and all that shit is just, it's everybody just fucking kids.
Yeah, it's like the highest level of like the corporate and political sphere is just full of pedophiles.
I don't get it. Why is it all of a sudden you get all this success and all this money and all of a sudden you're just like, I think it's time to start fucking kids.
I actually have a theory on this. I actually have a theory.
Buy a Lamborghini, man. Like,
It's because we know that there's laws that don't apply to rich people, right? Like as you get progressively richer and richer, there's laws that you don't care about, like a speeding ticket. Like if you're like living paycheck to paycheck, you're like, I cannot get a speeding ticket. I don't have any money. Like after I pay my bills and pay rent and eat food, like I cannot get a speeding ticket. But if you're rich, you're like,
I can't get caught fucking a kid. I'm broke as shit. How the fuck am I gonna get out of this?
I mean, yeah, like that's. I mean, no, but like, I feel like
Fucking rich ass
people
Bill
would
Clinton.
not just start having sex with children just because they're rich. But here's what happens: is
Apparently, you proven wrong on that point.
I mean, yeah, but like, listen, it's a slippery slope because because you start like you're like, okay, well, if I'm rich, a speeding ticket doesn't mean shit to me. So it's like then you start like, I mean, not everybody, but like. There's been studies that like people with sociopathic tendencies tend to be like more successful in the political and corporate world. So it's like the type of person that gets success in the political and corporate world, a lot of times might be kind of this person who might think, what else can I get away with? And then they get away with like they start doing worse and worse shit, and then eventually that kind of person in that kind of situation, it would escalate to the point of them being like, I bet you I could do this unspeakable, horrific act, and nothing would happen to me because I'm so powerful and so rich.
And then your two most famous fucking acting roles could be you playing a pedophile.
Talking about Chris D'Elia? Chris D'Elia. Oh my god. I can't believe. Yeah, the dude played a pedophile twice. Once in Workaholics and then once in this Netflix show, like last year. And it turns out he's actually a pedophile in real life.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that episode of Workaholics the other day that he was on, where he played the pedophile.
Topher.
It still holds
My
up.
name's fucking Topher, dude.
I mean, it's still funny despite what we know, man.
It
Like,
is
that's-
funny. Like, I think it's funny that he's actually a pedophile, but it's also terrible. At the same time, it's awful and despicable and disgusting, and he deserves all the shit he's getting now and more.
There's a word for guys like him. It's called method actors.
Method exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What
saying.
did you say about?
I don't know. He was just he really likes Daniel Day-Lewis, man. he's getting into that shit. No, man. I think he was just really into that fucking Winger song. She's only 17.
Yeah, because it was all like ladies on the cusp.
Yeah, it was like 16, 17-year-olds, man. Like,
He's like, I just feel like I'm getting away with something a little naughty.
he probably was browsing Pornhub whenever he was like 11, 12 and saw the jailbait category and was like, that's my shit. That's my shit. Like, girls about there.
It's like, whoops, I didn't mean to click. Well, hang on. What is this? So, yeah.
This was like my babysitter, and then he's a man child, so he never grew out of that.
Well, I mean, that brings up a good, interesting idea. Do you think you could, like, reverse groom a pedophile to, like, just...
Like a kid seduce an older person?
No. Just, like, you know how they groom kids to be like, you know, this is all right. This is what normal people do. They get them used to the idea of
Having sex with an adult?
and then that makes more pedophiles and shit. But I wonder if you could take a pedophile and be like, it's okay to fuck an above 18 woman.
And they're
or a
just
dude.
like, they're just like,
Like, you could
no, it's not.
You could just go be a gay guy. Yeah.
It's like, please, no. They're like about to grow up. And it's like, no, just, this is normal. I swear.
Yeah. Like, why aren't we looking into this, man? This is the next big. NFL's gonna be wearing fucking black socks in support of getting pedophiles to fuck older people.
I mean, that's true. Like, where are our tax dollars going?
Where are they going? Excuse me.
They're
Dang.
going to
Right.
pedophiles.
They are.
Yeah,
They're quite
that's
literally.
true.
They're quite literally going to the opposite of solving pedophilia.
Yeah.
They are funding pedophilia.
That's crazy. Like, they have all these posters. They're trying to go with the LGBTQ plus community. Like, nah. You have too much money.
that. I've seen where, like, pedophiles are like, I'm a minor attracted person, thank you.
Maps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a non-offending minor attracted person. I'm a member of the LGBT community. And I'm just like, where's our pride flag?
It's like, I'm that plus.
Exactly. I mean, that plus, it covers a lot of things. You might not know, but necrophilia is in there too. Bestiality. That's where I live.
It's like, actually, you're the Q. That what you're doing is very questionable.
Questionable.
At this point, I could legitimately see maps becoming like a protected class in the next 5 years. They're
could
going
see-
twofold. They're getting into the LGBT thing, but they're also getting into the mental disorder thing. And if they could actually sell it being a mental disorder to people, they're already fucking people being like, you know, yeah, pedophilia is wrong, but if they don't actually go after anybody, then they're just a sick person.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your previous question,
Right.
the brain can be rewired. It just takes a lot of effort. The brain is amazing, except you're on methamphetamines. That's rough. I don't know how you fix that. But if you're not on methamphetamines and you're just a pedophiliac or whatever you call them, a pedophile. Yeah, they got a problem. We're gonna call it pedophiliac. It's a disease. You know, I gotta.
It's like, oh my god, my pedophilia is acting up today. I need an inhaler for my pedophiliac disease.
Oh my god! I just saw the high school.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could just do what we do back in the day, man. You could just fucking lobotomy them.
Lobotomize
Yeah.
pedophiles?
Hey, everybody's gonna get all squeamish about just fucking taking child fuckers out and shooting them. You could just fucking lobotomize them, and then you just got a couple of fucking zombies walking around. Think about. I mean, we could do it in a way where we could actually make them useful for society. Nobody wants to do these menial labor jobs, man. Just fucking lobotomize pedophiles.
Lobotomized pedophiles, like
make 'em-
screw in caps on toothpaste bottles.
Yeah. just make them do it just enough to where you could just be like, hey, this is your job, and they could be fucking janitors and shit.
They'd be like that. Have you guys ever seen that episode of Drake and Josh where like Josh becomes a football player? And there's that janitor at their school that used to be a football player, but he like got a head injury and he like can't remember anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Wait, what'd you say? What's my name? What? I play football." It'd be like that. They'd be like, "Here's your job. You're a janitor now. You're a lobotomized pedophile. This is your place in society." And they'd be like, "I'm a what now? I'm a pedophile." They'd be like, "Kids, stay away from me." As he's cleaning up, he's like, "I'm a pedophile." Sweeping and mopping up kids' puke in the hallways.
I mean, fucking, I don't know why there aren't more pedophiles that work as janitors.
They probably
Like,
do.
That seems like the.
I think you just busted this whole case wide open.
If the
We need
FBI's
to crack
listening,
down. Yeah, exactly.
they know where to search.
Exactly. if good old Scully and Mulder are listening in,
What's our time at?
36 minutes.
All right. You want to hit pause on this?
A few moments later.
You know, it's funny because with this quarantine, I thought it'd be more productive because like, oh, I got time to myself. I don't have to do anything, especially when the quarantine first happened. I just got fat. Nothing
You
happened.
thought you were going to...
I kept waiting.
I just kept waiting. I was like, when is something gonna happen? I got love handles. I played Overwatch. It was
Dude, there's nothing to do in this fucking town but go out drinking when
Yeah.
there's nothing going on. You take the bars away. What is there to do?
yeah.
It's like we're back to being 16 years old and walking around Walmart all night because there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I mean, we
Can't even
played
do that, man. Walmart closes at like fucking, what, 12?
8.
Fuck this pandemic, man. I hate wearing a mask. I'm gonna do it because I'm a citizen who abides by the guidelines. I'm an upstanding, citizen of the people, for the people, by the people. I wear the mask. I do that. I bite that bullet for the good of humanity.
Okay.
But
You
I'm
just
getting
got...
fucking tired of it.
You just get psyoped into doing whatever the government tells you to?
Well, it's more doctors. The government says it's if you want to for some reason.
I haven't changed a single thing about my life, man. I literally went to the fucking hospital right when shit was getting kind of scary.
Well, we all know that.
I don't think I've gotten it. Like, I haven't gotten sick. Who knows? Like, I might not just be a shower, but I don't know.
think.
Yeah, I think you're a grower.
Well, ask my exes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm scared.
You
of
don't.
the answer.
You don't.
I don't want to ask them.
Well, you shouldn't want to wear a mask.
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't I wear a mask? Well, so here's the thing. I wear it when I'm in crowded areas where there's a lot of people,
Yep.
and it might, there might be something going around. Even if it's just, even if there isn't anything out there, just being safe. Like, it is a pandemic. You can't argue with that. It is. People have died. Is it likely?
People have. Well,
Is it likely that I'm gonna get it and die? Maybe not. But it's happened, and until this is over, I'm gonna try to be safe.
I mean,
if they tell me this is something I can do
Yeah.
to be safe, then I'm gonna be like, okay,
like
I want to be safe.
It's like an old person killer. Like, what I've noticed is that this is a weird virus because it kills old people, even if you're kind of healthy or healthy.
It attacks older people and people with like underlying health problems like obesity and asthma and diabetes and stuff like that. It's like worse on you.
Like stuff that Americans usually have.
I mean, yeah, but then there's
So-
there's these. It's crazy though, because then there's I've heard of some cases where somebody's like super active and like they work out all the time, and then they get it and it just like fucks them. I haven't heard anybody dying, but
Yeah.
I've heard of people getting it and it just like ravages them.
That's also another thing. Like, this virus doesn't affect you like what we've been told initially when it comes to giving you respiratory diseases, but it can also cause different things to happen to your body.
I've heard that. I think it's still the respiratory is still the main thing.
Yeah.
But I have heard that there's like some weird symptoms to it sometimes.
I mean, dude, there's fucking articles coming out that medical professionals are saying, oh, actually maybe staying inside for as long as we did wasn't the best option. Like, it might actually spread worse indoors than people being out in crowds and shit like that.
How does that work, though? You know?
I mean, if you're fucking
Excuse me.
spending 90% of your time locked up every day, I mean, nobody's enough of a psychopath to just go that long without hanging out with anybody. You get a couple of people going around that inadvertently have the fucking disease, and they're going and hanging out with maybe just one friend a day, but months on end, they're going and seeing multiple different friends throughout the month.
But
You're
like,
just
if you go to
spreading it around.
if you go to the bar, then you did everything that you did in that month in one night. So it is like less frequent to like.
Well, yeah,
social
but
distance.
I mean, fucking bars around here. If I haven't gotten hepatitis from any of these fucking bars, I'm not gonna be concerned about fucking
Well,
COVID.
I mean, this
man.
is also like a rural town, though. you
Yeah.
know? I mean, what if you lived in Tulsa? Would you, or Oklahoma City? Would you wear a mask when you go to the Walmart?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean,
It's not even really just that I'm trying to be a rebel or anything. It's just I genuinely don't fucking care. If I get it, it's most likely not gonna fucking kill me. Like, if I get it, all I gotta make sure I do is just stay away from fucking my parents and shit. Other than that, like, I'm looking at 2 weeks hacking my fucking lungs up and feeling like I can't breathe.
but what if you?
That's normal for you,
What?
Exactly. Well, even okay. Well, how about this? Like, you think like fucking smokers, like,
Yeah.
their damaged lungs, they're gonna get this shit like crazy, and it's gonna be real bad for them.
No,
they're
their
actually
lungs have
thinking
developed
that
resistance.
nicotine actually hinders the virus. Like,
because like
They're saying weed definitely does.
because the
they said nicotine first. They said
Really?
yeah, because they whenever they looked at the numbers, they fucking saw that like, there was a significantly more amount of people going in that had not ever been smokers or weren't smokers than a really, really low average of people that were going in that were smokers.
It's probably because smokers have like thug lungs. You know what I mean? At this point, they're so.
smokers' lungs be packing.
Yeah, they be packing.
And they
I mean-
busted a cap in that COVID.
They
It shows
saw-
shows its face down at Casey's. It's getting walloped.
Yeah, they're just like they see the COVID like come in.
They see
They're like,
the
dude.
fucking-
It's like, nah, this is my stoop.
Well, I mean,
they
even
just
then,
like they just like puff up their chest, and COVID's like, oh, I'm in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you better go through the intestine. Stay out of the lungs.
I
COVID
mean,
just rolls its windows up in its car and keeps on.
well, there was also studies done that said fucking farts can spread COVID, and fucking jizz can spread COVID.
What
man.
kind of fucking websites are you reading?
That's fucking-
Shitforbrains.org.
It's like, don't jizz on these people.
No,
You're gonna spread
think-
it.
I think-
Please don't go around
No.
jizzing on people.
I think it was
COVID.
Vice. I think it was Vice.
Was it Well, they're stupid sometimes.
I mean, there's you don't gotta fucking tell me.
Well, they're ridiculous.
Half the shit they put out, I don't know. It might not have been. I remember it was like a fucking news organization where I was like, this sounds stupid, but because it came from there, I might give it just a little bit of legitimacy.
If it doesn't have .org, I don't listen to it.
Most news organizations don't got .org. Most, I mean, fucking.
Yeah, I mean, that's a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no,
You know, get your panties in.
yeah,
first, man.
come on.
Come
now,
on.
man, come on.
I mean, I'm saying this as a person that thinks all news is fucking shit.
Investigative journalism is still good. The ones you have to pay subscriptions for because they're either non-profit, well, more than likely non-profit. Those are good news sources, but they're more local.
I'm talking about fucking Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. Basically,
Cable news.
cable definitely.
I mean, the 24-hour news network.
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Fucking-
See, here's the thing: is like, journalism is awesome, but the shit that we're getting is not real journalism.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
will say it again.
It's
my
paint.
friends.
It's fucking paint by numbers shit, man. Like, I'll tell you one thing, man. All this George Floyd stuff going on, the riots and protests. I guarantee you, at all them news organizations like Fox, MSNBC, CNN, there's fucking executives that saw that George Floyd shit, and their first reaction was like, all right, we got a fucking killer story that's going to get
hell
our
yeah.
asses paid for the next few months.
That's the thing with corporate news, because it's all about views. It's all about that ad revenue. So it's like when terrible shit happens, they just figure out a way to exploit it as long as they can to keep people's eyes glued to the television or glued to that, computer or phone screen.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, on both sides, Republicans or Democrats, it doesn't matter. There's just an overwhelming amount of fucking retards that are gonna fucking tune into them news organizations and gonna be like, these guys have it solved. They tell me what is right to think.
Yes, that's true. But I mean, what's your point though? Like,
My point is, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. You're just you're filling your eyes and ears with propaganda.
yeah,
and
you need to. Yeah, I agree. People need to read shit like Reuters, Associated Press.
I'm not gonna say ban opinion news journalism. Like, fucking,
No.
you can go to whatever guy you like that fucking tells you how he thinks and how you should think.
Yeah, it's like, or your echo chamber.
I mean, if you're gonna fucking do that, at least look into the other side, because the
Yes.
truth falls more in the middle. But so many people are just saying this news site gets it right. I'm gonna believe this, and then
Yeah, but
That's true.
the thing
Like,
about it,
people
though...
here's the thing, though. Or, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so practically, obviously, what we're agreeing on is visual media is very biased. So with that in mind, there should always be a disclaimer, because I believe when you report the news, all of it has to be objective. You're stating this is what happened at this time, blah, blah, blah. It should be boring. It should be straight to the point and boring. That's how all press should be, any news type resource. But it's entertaining, like the ones we're used to that have biases towards conservatism or liberalism, then it should be, they should have a disclaimer saying, oh,
This is not
objective news. This is disclaimer. We're going to hit you in the emotions.
Yeah.
Rather than make
like,
you think.
Every like Tucker Carlson, Rachel Maddow,
Yeah.
like person like has like a talk show, they need to like have a disclaimer like, this is opinion.
Yeah, this is a opinionated news. Like whenever, like, what I love is like when the New York Times, like when they give out their opinion pieces, they straight up say, here's an opinion piece over this, is the writer doing it. Like, that's cool, because all right, I want to see what his opinion is. And then they have other articles that say, okay, now here's, for me, recently I've been reading nothing but, public health articles, mainly because that's all we get to have every day, is like 5 or all of everybody's publications releasing articles around the world about new stuff happening, which I think a cure's probably going to either, I think is on the verge of becoming a thing or is about to, but it's not going to be accessible until 2021.
you're talking about vaccination.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that shit.
Hey, are you anti-vax?
I'm not an anti-vax deal. It's just I do got a tad bit of a conspiratorial brain, and I don't know, it kind of freaks me out. Just
What's the
because, like,
conspiracy behind the COVID vax?
I mean, if I can go down the rabbit hole, all the fucking Bill Gates shit.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, Bill Gates is all like, for years he's been saying like, we're gonna have a virus eventually and it's gonna be real bad and it's gonna scare people and shit, and like he's all about this whole like, let's get vaccinations and shit. But I mean, you look at fucking Bill Gates and shit. His company that does like these vaccination shit, they go to like Africa and just fucking basically instead of going through human trials, they just use fucking places like this as trial. They start giving people vaccinations down there just to see how it affects humans.
Yeah, I have read about that doctors do human trials, unethical human trials on African people.
I think I haven't looked too much into this, but I have heard that like the new vaccination isn't like, it's not like a dead sample of the COVID. They're actually saying it's like a manipulated gene. So I don't know.
Is it the gay gene?
No. So it's mutation. They're gonna mutate us.
That's how they're gonna. That's how that's how we're gonna get.
I'm saying that could be bullshit because I didn't look too much into it. Like, it was just something I was listening to while I was fucking on break at work. So I do need to look into it, but that's what I heard was that it was a gene manipulation instead of them doing a dead culture of the virus.
Yeah, see what they've been doing for the past month or two, because they've actually found a not necessarily vaccination, but something that does speed up the recovery process if you do happen to have it, especially severe case of it. There's proven trials that showed that patients have cured from it. It's called like Remdesivir or Redivir. I have to relook at the name, but the thing about it is they're going back all the way until like the flu, influenza, and looking at all the failed vaccinations they had back then. So antivirus, or I guess antivirus, what would you call them? Just shots or whatever they had, vaccinations that they thought would work but didn't. They're showing that some of them do help with different viruses, and that's how they've gotten cures for other stuff. So that's what they've been doing. That's why they found out that Remdesivir or Revimidine, something like that. I got to relook at this. I got to fix my vocabulary, but it shows that they're doing that, and that's been kind of helping with trials they've had. Like, I think Seattle's the one that's been okay with open human trials with that. But
well, as we've established before, man, you can't really trust Seattle.
Yeah. God, they're so depressed. Let's just use these guys for human trials.
What's that guy? That warlord? What's his name?
Raz.
He's gonna be out there like
Raz
having
and
people at
Chaz.
gunpoint, and he's like, "Test this vaccine."
I'm not gonna fucking take any fucking vaccination. I mean, it's like 1% of the population. Actually, less than 1% of the population this virus fucking kills. That gets it. And it's kind of funny that they came out with all these models saying like, oh, there's gonna be like 2 million people dead, and that's if we put these fucking stringent laws into place immediately. And no, we're at like what, almost 200,000 dead.
Yeah, it's like close to 200,000.
The fucking like what they said was gonna happen was way the fuck off. So like, why would you even?
It's like there's two ways of interpreting that. I feel like it's like either they don't know their shit and this was all bullshit, and it makes you like more distrustful of like authoritative figures, or these measures worked better than they even thought they would. It's always like that thing of like, what if there weren't none of these social distance measures or shelter in place? Would it have been worse? It's one of those things that I wonder about.
I'm not gonna be one of those people that says like it's all a hoax and shit, because no, there's people getting sick and there's people dying. Like, you can say whatever you want, whether it just happened to happen or it might have been a fucking lab created deal in China, because there's legitimate shit to show that it might have came from a Chinese lab that just accidentally fucking got out. But I just think it's a little odd, the timing with it being a fucking election year, that I feel like it really got milked for political gains. Irregardless of what side you may be on, like, Lord knows I don't fucking like Trump. I think he's funny as fuck, but I don't fucking support him. But I mean, I'm not voting Trump or Biden at all.
I really don't want to vote for Biden.
I might if I vote, which is a big if, I might vote for that Joe Jorgensen.
I haven't looked into him.
It's a chick.
I haven't looked into her.
She's the libertarian nominee, but she's like polling really well, which, I mean, you can't really go by polls from.
No.
I mean, they said Hillary had a 99% chance of winning.
Yeah.
You can't go by polls.
No, polls are. It's like whoever they're asking questions does not have their finger on the pulse. Let's just say that.
It's like whoever happens to bribe the Electoral College the best is the one who wins the presidency.
Yeah, I've been pouring one out for Bernie every day since he quit his campaign. Which, I mean, he said he did it because he felt like instead of running a campaign for president, he felt like he could better assist the country in this time of health and economic crisis by focusing on being a congressman. Which I understand, but I'm like, God damn it, Bernie, why'd you have to leave us with Joe Biden?
Now, if he happens to be the VP for Joe Biden, which probably wouldn't
I don't think they'd do that. He's gonna pick a woman because he's a white man.
Yeah, he's probably gonna pick freaking Elizabeth Warren or something.
I heard Amy Klobuchar like a week ago.
No, she dropped out
Yeah.
because of the whole George Floyd shit.
Yeah. But I remember so it wasn't a week ago. It was like a month ago because it was before before all that happened. But I heard Amy Klobuchar was in talks, and I was like, a Biden Klobuchar ticket. That is like the worst. That is the most Democrat thing they could have done. I hate the Democrats so much.
I mean, say what you want about Trump. Like, you could call him a fucking idiot or whatever you want. You could at least say he's more mentally competent than Biden. Like, he arguably has more mental faculties than Biden. Have you seen fucking Biden talk?
I would say it is. You definitely have a case.
No, he has Alzheimer's. There's no fucking way that he doesn't have Alzheimer's or dementia. Just listening to him talk.
Erica was telling me about this campaign commercial she saw where he was like, Joe Biden was like, "Hello, I'm Joe Biden." Like, he couldn't even get his name out without like stammering all over the place. I'm like, can we vote for someone who has like a brain?
Dude, just everybody should go third party. I don't understand both sides being so up their own asses and saying, like, no, if you don't vote for who I want you to vote for, it's a vote for the other person.
Yeah.
And this election's too important to risk over a third-party candidate.
Exactly.
Like, it's because so many of you fucking retards think that way that you can't just say, like, if we all just vote for this third party, man, at least it's going to be something different.
Yeah, the two-party system, like, benefits the corporate elite and the political elite too much for them to give that up. So they facilitate this propaganda that's like, if you don't vote red or blue, then your vote doesn't matter, basically.
Yeah, and
they're telling us that to keep us from voting third party, and like this country was never meant to have like a two-party system. Like there were several of the founding fathers that like were against that because they saw what it did in Britain, and it's like we were never supposed to have these parties. It was always supposed to be like the body representative of the people.
Now, I can tell you where it all went wrong, though.
Where?
So you know how we have a federal government watching over the entire 50 states? We need to have... so at this time, I can't agree with having each state having its own government head, but over time, the federal government should not have as much power as the state itself.
You're talking about states' rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a little trouble with that one.
You
have to address the Civil War with that one.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I mean, I will. There is baggage associated with that term, states' rights, but I'm willing to hear your take.
Okay.
Well, it's not really the baggage. It's just that, like, if you want to look at a legitimate turning point for states' rights, as much of how fucked up it may be to say, like, the Civil War did really fuck up states' rights. As much as that, how that's fucking saying, like, no,
that's not what it got worse.
They should have done it. It's good that they done it to end slavery, but there is a actual case to be said for how that affected states' rights.
It's kind of like how like during like the George Bush era, like there was the war in the Middle East. And then but that was like the big thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it also affects like gas prices. There's other shit that actually like it gets affected. Yeah. That's not like the main thing.
Yeah.
I think that is true. Like the people that say that it was about states' rights and not about slavery are like full of bullshit.
No, it was definitely about.
There was states' rights in there.
Yeah, exactly.
There was shit about states' rights in there. Slavery was the main thing that the South was fighting for.
Now, what I'm really interpreting is like when way before that, when we had the 13 colonies initially.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the 13 colonies, and at that time, each state was running itself. We're excluding any ethical issue at that point, but purely government and economics, the state
aside from
but they were still
the king.
The king.
They were still
they still had to pay
king.
taxes to the king, and but there was more of a separation because they were all the way across the ocean.
But that was the thing too, is like they forced the state, the government itself had a hard time excluding the taxes part. They had a hard time even controlling each state itself. I mean, it initially came because they were trying to acquire taxes from each of the state. But it's one of those things where, like, yeah, the government wanted to band them all together to get taxes easier, but that ended up being where they controlled the government itself through its policies and everything. And because we obviously know, it might be whatever the state says, cool, for each state has their own little rules that are different, but federally, if the federal government says this, then that reigns over everything. And I'm not saying federal rules is not a bad thing right now, because if Oklahoma itself were to be governing itself, that'd be a nightmare. That would be a nightmare.
I was gonna say, it's like there's something about the like social and like political cohesion of the nation that kind of seems to require a government body above it that kind of like unites us, and like there are things that are like so that it doesn't make like traveling between states like a nightmare. Like there are certain things that are like across the board.
I think it should be more 50-50 is what I'm meaning.
Okay.
Because the federal government needs to be there still. But it's for rules, like whenever you do cross over to states, there should be always like a neutral thing happening no matter where you go. That's always the same. But each state should still have its own, what's the best way I want to put this? Like,
I don't really see the federal government encroaching on the states.
Yeah.
Honestly, though.
You don't?
I mean, like, I don't know.
I mean, every federal law that's passed is an encroachment on states' rights.
But, I mean, if we didn't have things that were like a law, a policy all across the nation, then you would have this chaotic patchwork where something that's legal here isn't legal here, and like
marijuana.
I thought it was...
Yeah, and marijuana. It's helping it's like bolstering the economies of the communities and states that it's like legal in, but it's still illegal like federally, which is causing like it still causes problems.
Well, it doesn't cause that many problems nowadays, but I mean, if you went back to whenever it got federally illegal, that was just a blanket like, fuck you states, whatever you put in, you're still breaking the law.
But how do you draw the line between like what's like
I mean, the states' rights, if the states had
individual?
more ability to just fucking say, all right, this is how we do shit around here, why don't you... That was the intention. Like, if you don't like how this state does shit, fucking go up to that state and you'll dig it more. But all this blanket federal laws and shit, that kind of stifles that.
But I mean, I feel like there's still enough. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying there aren't encroachments on like individual rights, states' rights by the federal government. But I see that there's like there's still a lot of variety between the states, and there's still a lot of like people from Texas hate people from California, and like people think that everybody from the
that's because the
is
49ers and the Cowboys have equal amount of Super Bowls. That's so mean.
It's also just because California sucks dick.
If
I
you're
like
poor,
California. I mean, yeah, it does suck dick.
They had to have people power washing entire cities so people didn't get hepatitis A from the human shit on the sidewalks. The government just allows that. Just allows people to shit, toss out needles and shit all up and down the sidewalks. Have you seen those poop maps of like San Francisco?
I was gonna say San Francisco. I have.
Yeah.
There's problems. I mean,
it's like the entire fucking city's just covered in poop. I mean, you gotta admit, fucking just California as a whole, if they allow a city to get to that point, you gotta kind of question the leadership that goes on there.
I mean, yeah, sure. There's shit going on everywhere, you know?
Say what you want.
There's shit going on everywhere, though, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I always say, there's like, yeah, that's true, but there's shit going on everywhere, you know?
I mean, name a fucking another... name another city in any sort of state in the country that has a problem with keeping human shit.
They're not looking for the shit.
Wait,
They don't have to look for the shit. It is covering everything, man.
Is it caused by homelessness or just people?
Yeah.
Okay, well if that's the
Homelessness
case,
and drug. I mean, okay, but
that's why it sucks to be poor in California, because you can easily become homeless, no matter if you have a degree or not. You know?
Yeah, there's like a city of homeless people in LA. There's like isn't it like 60,000 homeless people in LA?
What?
Something like that.
Oh my goodness.
And then again, I mean, you say what you want about the fucking Republicans. Like, yeah, they got their shitty shit going on, but at the same time, these places with huge violence and fucking homelessness and shit, it's usually Democrat controlled.
Well, that's also because like cities tend to be Democrat controlled, like big metropolitan areas.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's also like it's not because of politics that heavily populated cities are going to have like all these problems because so many people live there.
oh, yeah, but at the same time, man, Democrat controlled areas for some places over 100 years. You gotta kind of think like, what the fuck is going on here? That
Would it be better if it was Republican though? Because I don't. Think
I'm
they
not
would-
saying
I
it
don't
would be
think they
better
would
if it was
focus-
Republican or not. I'm just saying like maybe the fact that it was just there was one party that had a guaranteed spot in to control the fucking shit for so long. Maybe it's just like, well, we're gonna get elected anyway. Why the fuck do we gotta address any of this shit? We'll just say a couple of fucking nice, banal, yeah, we're gonna work on it and shit, and then just like,
You think
Yeah.
part of that is like places where they're it's like it's always been red, it's
Yeah.
always been blue. It's like there's people that live in those communities that have those ties to like government officials and stuff like that go back, like their families have been like acquaintances and like business partners for like years and years and years and years and years. So they're just like keeping it going to like reap the benefits,
yeah.
and they just like don't give a fuck about like
and they know at
people
that
coming
point,
up.
They know at that point everybody's just gonna fucking vote for this party anyway.
Yeah, because it's like it tends to be the people that see the most benefit that'll go out and vote. Like the average American doesn't really see how like a different president directly impacts their life on a day-to-day basis, so they're less likely to vote. But it's like these rich people that are like getting like bennies depending on who controls what, they'll turn the fuck out to vote, you know. And then you got all these corrupt people that are like voting, and it's not in the best interest of like the whole. It's just in the best interest of the people that like are seeing benefits. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, we really need to be like France, and we just need to have a revolution every 100 years against our government. You know,
That one guy did their president or whatever, vice
Prime
Chancellor,
Minister.
Prime Minister,
Yeah. I don't know what they call him over
Prime
there.
Minister. He did refuse to shake Trump's hand, and then begrudgingly did shake his hand, and then like cleaned his hand off in the car afterwards and called him stupid or something. So I mean, it's that kind of
That's just a fucking dork trying to save face.
exactly. I was gonna say that kind of empty act that is totally just for show is what really gets me. You know, I don't know about you guys.
That's all. It's all access. Like, you see the fucking Democrats like kneeling with the
Yes, I did.
fucking with those scarves on.
That was
Did you see that it
They're
turns
like-
out? Did you see that it turns out that those scarves were actually used by a African kingdom that was known for selling slaves
Yes,
to white people?
I saw that. I read it all, and yeah, I know they're like kneeling and like, God, this system is so unjust. I wish someone would stand up to this. And it's like, that's literally your job. That is literally, get back in the fucking Capitol building and get to writing and voting, you sons of bitches.
It really amazes me that people still have faith in politics or just either party. Like, you guys actually think that these people care?
We need like an overhaul when it comes to that. When it comes to who we're electing, we need to stop electing Clintons and Bushes and like get some new ass people in there.
Yeah,
Diverse people. Like,
maybe when a fucking known child molester's black book gets released and it shows all
that
these
doesn't matter because
rich people
Trump's
that
documents got released and nobody still cared.
Well, I'm just saying, like, fucking Epstein's black book got released, his flight logs on the thing called the Lolita Express to his private island where he is known to fuck kids.
I saw the
There were
document.
so many fucking people. Like, Tom Hanks was on there. All these people, and yet he just fucking kills himself.
yeah,
Quotes.
yeah.
Like, he was obviously fucking murdered, and everybody was like, well, I guess that's the end of that story. Thank God that child molester got it. But
Yeah, that's the thing is they
All this
couched
shit.
it. They couched it in that this child molester deserves death, and then he died, and then people were just like, good. But it's like, wait, don't leave yet. Please stay, because so many people and like the highest level of power in this country were connected to him, and we need to like bust that open and
Expose
expose it.
them.
Yeah.
He had a giant painting in his apartment of Bill Clinton sitting by a fire with a blue dress on.
Yes. That's fucking weird.
You're telling me Bill Clinton isn't being questioned? The
Exactly.
only person
He
who
was
kind of got shit for this was Prince Andrew, and he is still fucking free.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Clinton, talking about that black book, Bill Clinton flew with Jeffrey to that island like 16 times or something.
Yeah.
Like I've known for a long time that Bill Clinton is questionable sexual morals, you know, but why does this shit get just like swept away so easily? It's so
because
easy. People just don't want to like talk about. Is it because pedophilia is like makes people uncomfortable? Is that it?
Well, that's the issue. You got to talk about it if it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that way it becomes not pedophilia becomes normalized, but to demonize pedophilia.
Like talking about these issues and doing something about them.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't talk about them, they just get ignored.
Exactly. And not only that, but like why would the FBI be working for them? We should like that's the thing too, even if we try to expose them, like what is the FBI going to do with the people in the black book, you know?
Well, the FBI is fucking most likely running fucking kids for these fucking people.
Yeah,
You
like
ever
I
heard
said,
about
It's all
the
a part of the government. You can't expect a part of the government to truly enforce.
I mean, if you're a higher up and you're not fucking kids, you know your friends are fucking kids, so you're just thinking like,
That's peer pressure.
why don't I fucking get picture these people fucking kids? Then next election season, whatever I want, I get.
So you're telling me what you're saying is Comey wasn't doing enough.
Fucking Comey might have been fucking supplying kids to these people, man.
And CIA, I mean, if they supplied drugs in the 80s, things have only gotten crazier
Dude,
since then. So.
fucking MK Ultra. They were
Yeah.
literally just fucking dosing people with high amounts of hallucinogenics in the fucking 60s just randomly in bars and shit,
Yep.
and they were just taking notes like, this is how it...
Yep, fucking MK Ultra, fucking what's that? Where they gave a bunch of black guys syphilis.
Oh, Tuskegee.
Tuskegee,
Yeah.
Tuskegee
Yeah, that was pretty
experiments.
awful.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people have the balls to fucking go out and say, you fucking stupid conspiracy theorists, and like, fuck Alex Jones and all this shit. You see what the government literally did. They literally did this. We didn't know about it for years, and then some documents got released, and they're like, yeah, we fucking took a bunch of fucking Tuskegee patients, and we injected them with syphilis just to see what the long-term effects are.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have known about this you didn't know about this until like the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
And you want to tell me like it's not questionable that maybe the government's doing some fucked up weird shit that we're not gonna know for 100 years?
Anarchy. I've been telling people this all the time. Anarchy's the way. You know, I eventually have warmed up to democratic socialism, but at the end of the day, my grand goal is anarchy.
You're like, I'm couching anarchy within this ruse of democratic socialism.
If you are listening and you have friends,
You're like, I am recruiting for the People's Revolution of Oklahoma.
I love punk music. And if I'm ever getting big in punk as an artist, it's going to be about anarchy, hating the government, and talking about my problems being brown. And that's about it.
Well, you can't have anarchy with socialism.
I know, but I'm saying if I can't have anarchy, I'd rather have democratic socialism. You know what I mean?
I think you should just look into libertarianism. If you like anarchy, that's more along the lines.
Anarcho-capitalism.
Anarcho-capitalism, man. Just be an ANCAP.
You and
But-
Penn Jillette should run
Yeah.
fucking president.
I'm down with fucking Penn, man. Penn, Drew Carey's a fucking libertarian.
Okay.
So is Mel Gibson.
He's like, the price is fucking right.
Mel Gibson. Yeah, Mel Gibson, Clint Eastwood, Vince Vaughn.
Clint Eastwood. I can see Clint Eastwood.
Vince Vaughn. I mean, now that you say that,
Yeah, Vince Vaughn.
he's one of my favorite.
I need to pick Clint Eastwood's brain about politics. Like, if there was anybody who I could just... I mean, he wouldn't be, like, top of the list, but he's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's so, like... He's just so, like... When I see him in movies, he looks so, like, grizzled and old and full of wisdom.
Yeah.
You know? But it's, like, it's that rustic, no bullshit wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, like, you know, you see a guy like him, you're like, oh, heavy conservatism and all that stuff. But that's just because he was in cowboy movies and really good cowboy movies and
Some of the best.
Some of the
cowboy
best.
movies.
Outlaw, Josie Wells, Ghost Rider.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Good,
of
Bad, and
course.
the Ugly.
That's like the
of
given
course.
one.
But the thing is, though, is like you see a movie like Gran Torino or any of the movies
I
he's
want to know how
directed.
Gran Torino got made in 2008.
I feel
Like,
like,
I feel like there was
that
a-
was still like a good like. That was still a good 6 years before the big social justice boom.
Yeah, but I feel like around then people were still getting that point where you can't saying gook calling an Asian person a gook in the movie. That's it's gonna be a little questionable, Clint.
I mean, maybe people had nuance back then. People understood the underlying message, and that he was just using these words and these ideas and these stereotypes and ideologies as a mode of communication for a greater point.
Yeah.
It's art. It's subversive. It requires you to use your brain a little bit.
I think you're actually right because in the movie he's exactly what you expect from an older person that has a Gran Torino. You know, he's very tight to his beliefs and what he knows and stuff. And then towards the end of the movie, he has a change of heart. You know, he actually starts having he actually cares about this Asian girl, and he's like, oh, this is the environment she's in, being a minority. And then eventually when things get rough, he's like, you know, I'm gonna help the way I know how. And it's kind of like, it's weird because it's all about really Clint Eastwood's character development when it comes to getting a bond with someone outside.
Anyone
in his case.
Yeah.
But especially
Now,
that specific.
I'll tell you exactly why it got passed. It's because all the people in it were Asian. Now, if it was like, if he had all black actors, I don't think he could make the movie the way it is. Like,
I mean, you're probably right.
he's calling the Asian gangsters gooks and shit, and like the only
But I mean,
reason
he
you
also-
can really make it acceptable in that movie is because he's doing it to protect these weaker Asian people.
But what about...
But if it was like a
Okay.
black people, you're
No,
fucking,
but what about the scene...
It's him calling the black gangsters N-words while protecting a
What?
fucking...
No, what about the scene...
I'm just saying, like,
What?
it doesn't... It only works because the people... all the other people in it are Asian.
Because he's protecting it. Okay, so because in the scene I'm talking about...
You can say gook a lot easier than you can say, like, the
Well,
N-word.
he doesn't say the N-word. I'll say that. He doesn't go that far. He doesn't say
But
the
he
N-word.
does use some
But
racial epithets.
He does, yes. That scene where the Asian girl is walking with the white guy who's dressed like a gangster, and those black dudes pull up in their truck, or no, they're just walking down the street, aren't they? I can't remember. They come up and
No, they're chilling at the street and
Are
they
they
walk
chill?
up on them.
Okay. And they run off that white boy by like being all like honky, and they beat him up, kind of rough him up a little bit, and he runs away. And then they're gonna like fuck with this girl. And he pulls up and he calls them spooks and tells them to run off, and he like shows them his piece, and they're like, we don't want no smoke, so they run away. So you're saying
We get it. You're about that urban lifestyle, man.
what are you talking about?
We don't want no smoking. I'm so white,
So
I
what
didn't
you're
understand
saying
half
is-
of what you just fucking said.
Well, so what you're saying though is that it's only okay that he does that because he's protecting the Asian girl.
I'm saying that his use of racial epithets in the movie is only acceptable because they're Asian and because he's protecting an Asian family. If it was a total different race, if it was black people in that movie, you could not get away with the racial epithets.
Even if he's protecting...
Even if he's like, you can't fucking call the black gangsters that are threatening this black family, you can't go around fucking showing a piece and calling them the N-words. Like, you can call them
Yeah,
gooks.
then you turn around and then the family
And
is like,
yeah.
what the fuck is wrong? Like, you could have just saved them. But if you said the N-word while saving them, they'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
I mean, that might have been
I do see your
well,
point.
honestly, that might have been a better way to save them, man, because then the family has something to connect with the gangsters over, man. This fucking white guy is just
He actually brings
using-
their communities together.
He's over here using racial
That's the
language.
necessary villain. they all
That, honestly, that might have been a better movie now that I think about it.
You need to write this thing.
The guy you like as the viewer you get emotionally attached to, you end up
It's like
hating
he's-
immediately.
No, he's definitely the villain, but the way it ends up, he's kind of the hero too, man. He really brought a community together.
See, the real hero is the actual Gran Torino.
Because this is a fucking cool ass
It is
car.
a nice car. And that very last scene of this, overhead, just, zooming out from the Gran Torino. It's beautiful. I don't even know what the movie is about, but that last scene, that was what made it for me.
It's about some Asian kid learning how to use tools or something.
Yeah, you think you're getting woke a little bit or something. Getting a perspective from a different, ethnicity, and then out of nowhere the car comes. And
No,
like, whoa.
it's a white savior movie for Tucker Carlson, man.
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, it's a white savior movie, man, because
Fuck
like
Tucker Carlson.
he's like, yeah, he's
And I'll say that on Bill O'Reilly's coffee table while
yeah.
wearing my pink pussy hat.
No, dude, it's basically just a white savior movie for fucking Republican people. Because he's nice to the Asians. He saves this Asian family.
Oh, because it's like he's a racist ass
But he gets
motherfucker.
to be a racist.
He gets to be a racist,
Yeah.
but he's still the hero.
Well,
that's the
I
I
never thought of it.
maybe it's
That's
a
the ideal-
horrible movie, and I just liked it because the last scene.
Gran Torino. I literally went to because it's called Gran Torino. I saw the car, so in my head I was like, "This is good ass
so-
movie."
there's
But
a
in
lot of
reality,
questions.
We should
brainwashed.
cancel Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood sucks. You want to have his political opinion about liberatism or anything?
liberatism.
A
or
lot of
whatever, Liberianism? I don't know. You cut.
Liberian.
a lot of the race relations and language were very questionable in this movie. But goddamn, that was a nice car.
That's what brainwashed
That's how
all
they
of us.
get you, man.
Yeah,
That's how they get you.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
with Fast and the Furious. You're
Oh, yeah.
tired of seeing these movies, but then the cars are like, oh wait.
You're
If it
like,
wasn't
wait
for
a
the
second.
cars, man, the cars distract you from the repeated use of the N word by all the white audiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you edited out all of the fucking car scenes, you'd just be left with like just
a
a
red
fucking
pill.
Nazi movie.
Yeah, like red pill propaganda.
That's it, man. It's the cars. The cars distract you. That's why all these fucking Nazis have sweet ass cars, man. It's like, see a dude in a fucking Dodge Challenger, you might be all right with him.
It's like
Doing
all
a little
these.
goose step.
It's like all these old dudes in smaller towns like ours. They'll like get their really nice vehicles parked by a Burger King or some burger joint they like. And you're like, oh, hey, dude, that's so cool. You're driving by, that's an awesome vehicle. And you see this random swastika just chilling.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh.
It's like that guy would love to deny some loans to black people, but he's got a cool
Exactly.
car.
It's like redlining. He created it, but that car.
I mean, it's kind of funny to think about like all the places where the swastika is still acceptable.
Like in Hinduism?
Yeah, dude, like fucking Mongolia.
Well, Hinduism,
Dude.
no, that's the swastika was kind of the originator.
Yeah, they're the OGs. with
Yeah,
the
that
swastika.
has a spiritual meaning behind it. But
Dude, every fucking culture around has used the fucking swastika.
Yeah, that's true.
but when you're a fascist party that's built on racism and everything in between,
And it's like, if you use that,
yeah, with the red background on a flag with the white circle that it's in, you
But,
know
like,
that's Nazism.
Yeah, but like all these Asian countries, like there's a lot of them that still fucking use it. Like,
Well,
there's
that's
a fucking,
Hinduism, right?
You know the band The Who,
yeah,
that Mongolian band.
yeah.
Like their first music video they released, it's edited on the American version because one dude has a ring that has a swastika, and they fucking blur it out on the American release.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did they mention that it was Hinduism or like?
I mean, they're
religion
from
first?
Mongolia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
it is
Yeah, it's-
definitely
It's not
a
Nazi.
spiritual thing. Not
Yeah,
Nazi,
spiritual. Okay.
yeah.
See, but that's the thing. Asian culture, though, they can get away with it.
I mean, in
Because they
fucking
make
Cherokee
cool-ass
culture.
cartoons.
You ever seen Yu Yu Hakusho? One of the guys had a huge swastika on his forehead.
He died.
When I was a kid, I thought he was a freaking Nazi, and I was like, "Why is Yusuke becoming friends with the Nazi?"
He's like this monk with like a swastika.
Yeah, he was even tough. I was like, It's like, beat up this Nazi. What are you doing?
It's like,
You're learning
Yusuke.
from this guy?
Yusuke, why aren't you tearing this fascist down? Woody Guthrie would be, like, ashamed of you.
Exactly.
I'd just like to see how one of these, like, fucking white SJW hipsters would react to seeing just some, like, Mongolian dude with a fucking swastika ring.
They wouldn't know what to think.
Like,
They're
like, would they attack him because they thought he was a Nazi, or would they be like, no, that's just his culture, I shouldn't?
yeah. It's like, it's like, I can't be, that's a microaggression towards people of culture.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, people of color.
People of culture?
I mean, that's also another word for non-white people.
Yeah.
People of culture.
And you
What are
know...
you talking about, man? We got culture.
Okay, people of non-stolen culture.
What the fuck? You gotta look at marble statues, fucking Mozart, all that shit. Like,
Speaking of all that, I saw on the news how... I say news, but when I say news, like... Twitter and like
I read it on
articles,
Facebook.
yeah,
No, I'm just
Facebook.
are you talking about fucking
Beethoven was
Yeah,
black.
Beethoven
may have
was
been black?
May
May
have
have
been
been
black.
I mean, it
It's-
doesn't really matter because
Whoa,
we're
whoa,
never.
whoa.
we're
It
never-
does matter because here's the thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense if he's black.
What?
All right, only black people are good enough to make music that good.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
I've seen that movie. He just
Tchaikovsky.
farted a lot.
Yeah, he probably stole music.
The reason I'm saying it doesn't matter is because you'd never fucking know one way or another.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't until maybe like a historian or I don't know, archaeologist.
Do you think it matters? Like, the people that get, like, heated about, like, Jesus wasn't white. He was, like,
Now, I think it
a
does.
Middle Eastern man.
I think it does matter to the point to where it makes white people so mad that it's funny to watch the reactions. And that's why it matters. Because if we have this going where we actually uncover whitewashed history, then we get better material when it comes to comedy stand-ups. That's my whole case behind it. We need more angry white people
Have you guys
for
seen
the wrong reasons.
Have you guys seen the? I agree with you, but
I think historically angry white people has been a pretty bad deal.
pretty bad
So-
problem. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you know, I mean,
You might want to rethink that position, but
yeah. Well,
We just need to. I don't know.
we need to figure out how to get away with also being angry if you're not white. You know what I mean? So that way it's even
That's when it's
playing field.
equal, yeah.
That's Twitter.
One group shows up to the
What?
Capitol. One group shows up to the Capitol with assault rifles, and it's fine.
Oh.
Another group does, and they get like jailed.
That's Twitter. It's every race, color, creed, sexuality, just all being angry at each other.
Twitter's pretty cool.
There's a lot of anger on Twitter.
There's a lot of anger because Twitter's a platform that you can't. I mean, the people who own Twitter, they don't try to force a weird algorithm that says, "Oh, we're only gonna let you see this. We're only gonna let you see that."
Well, they're a little crazy about banning people whose tweets are even just a little bit like criticizing
Dude.
the left.
They,
Like, even just a little bit.
Oh, okay, wait, yeah, my
Uh,
bad.
They
So,
get a little.
I just
But
meant
for the most part, it is much freer
You want-
discourse than
yeah,
any
my
other
bad.
You
social
want to see how
media.
I mean-
fucking stupid Twitter is, man? I got this picture. Somebody said something stupid, and my response was literally "Shut up, dork." I hit send, and immediately, whenever I hit send, before it would even post, it popped up Twitter saying this post may be found offensive.
I've seen a
You
couple.
said shut up.
I
dork."
said "Shut up, dork." I'm pretty sure I took a fucking picture of it.
That is pretty funny, actually.
That is how ridiculous Twitter is with fucking saying "be nice to each other."
Yeah, but it's if you, especially if you are critical of the left in any way,
Fucking.
then they will come down on you with the bans and the suspensions.
Jeez, that sucks.
It is bad for discourse, but the discourse on Twitter is much freer than it is on Facebook or anywhere else really on the web.
Yeah.
Unless you're logging on to like
Reddit. Reddit's probably
Reddit's
the
pretty
freest.
free, but like I was thinking like 4chan.
4chan.
Oh, yeah.
But then
You
when
want
get-
total freedom? Go on 4chan. man.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
the wrong kind of freedom.
It's people who have too much freedom and
Oh,
they're
dude,
abusing it.
4chan is a fucking golden place of hilarity.
I saw this thing on 4chan that because sometimes I just get on there and I browse the random tab.
B.
Yeah, B.
Yeah, B.
And I'm just like, I just want to see what some fucked up people are talking about on the internet.
Like fucking 70% of the time, man, it's gonna be trannies.
Trannies? Oh well, I have seen that. I have seen it. There's a lot.
Almost
there's a lot of pornography.
almost every time I get on fucking B, there's at least 5 different threads of just fucking tranny porn.
I haven't checked out 4chan a lot. I've been shown 4chan one time in high school. And I can't remember who showed me it, but he was like, "You want to see this 4chan?" I was like, "Yeah," because I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And all I see is just like, we didn't know it was a GIF at the time, but it was a GIF. And it was like this really big girl, her hips are really wide, awkwardly wide, and her cheeks are really big for some reason, and just pooped out a giant watermelon. Like an
Oh,
actress.
God.
Yeah. And then it was like, ew, look at that, that rules. I was like, what? That was disturbing.
Oh God, no. Well, the thing that I saw may have not been quite that fucked up, even though it was pretty crazy. There was this guy who was like, "I'm gonna do it, guys. I think I'm gonna kill myself." I've been with my. I did. Yeah. He's like, I've been with my girlfriend for like years, and she finally got pregnant. We've been trying, and then she like, you know, the baby comes out and it's black, and I'm a white guy and she's white too, so I know she cheated on me, and it's not my baby. My family is pissed at me because I won't sign the papers to like claim the baby because that's not my fucking baby. But my family hates me, and I've been cheated on, and my my girlfriend made me think I was gonna be a dad for like 9 months, and then it's some other guy's baby, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ! Why would you post this on the internet? But it's like.
I've seen
And
stories
you know
like
what
that
the
on Reddit
first,
too.
you know what, like at least 6% of those fucking responses are gonna be.
They're gonna be
You
calling him a
fucking cuck.
faggot. Yeah,
You
calling him a
fucking
cuck, calling him a faggot.
You simp.
You want anarchy, man? Like browse B. It is the epitome of just fucking anarchy.
Yes, it's goddamn terrible.
It's just a wonderful place full of fucking tranny porn and people calling each other faggots.
See, my anarchy revolves around destroying the government. I don't know.
That's a different kind of anarchy.
Yeah.
I'm going for the cooler anarchy.
What that's happening is you can kind of do that with the government. I'm trying to do stuff without a government.
I don't know. It's pretty fucking hilarious. If you ask me.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want, man. The world may be falling apart. At least it's falling apart in a fucking hilarious way.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Donald Trump, he literally just fucking at his rally in Tulsa tonight, he called COVID Kung Flu.
Oh God, no, he didn't. I have not been on social media.
Oh,
Holy
my
shit! I have not even been looking at what's going on in Tulsa right now.
I have to ask my girlfriend
But
about
Jesus
that.
Christ.
Man.
There's people that are thinking that's going to be ground zero for the race war tonight. Like,
I know there's a lot of
Goddamn.
people wanting to fight. Oh, you know, if you're a protester right now, the police said you don't have the right to have a concealed weapon on you.
what?
Yeah, no, they said you can't have it. That was one of the big things. But obviously, the people that are going to the rally can,
Yeah.
which is dumb because I'm like,
They're
what?
both exercising their First Amendment right. That's literally all they're doing. I had a tweet about this. I said, watch campaign season hit, and then all the cops that have been tear gassing peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters are going to turn around at Trump rallies and be like, does anyone want a sandwich? Does anyone need
Yes,
water?
yep.
Anyone need anything? Thank you for practicing
they
your First
kinda-
Amendment rights in our city.
They kind of did that already, where a lot of the police officers did they hugged everybody at first, and they kneeled out of solidarity and all this other stuff, and then 15 minutes later, when the news turned off,
Yep.
tear gassed them, beat the crap out of them, started arresting people for freedom of speech.
Exactly. I saw that. It was somewhere in was it in Miami? Miami, Florida? I saw it in Miami. There were cops kneeling.
There's 8 different major cities that happened.
That happened
Yeah.
where they took basically photo shoots.
some form of solidarity while the news were recording it
Uh-huh.
for, obviously, and that term, just whatever extremist news channel used it, and then after that, destroyed the people that were protesting.
Yeah, I've seen so many horrible clips. There's this document. It's a Google Doc that like has over 500 different videos, different accounts. Like there's more than 500 videos, but there's over 500 different events of extreme police brutality against these peaceful protesters, and it's all come out in the past like month.
Yeah.
Ever since since George Floyd was murdered and the protesting started, there have been like so many, and those are just the counts that were caught on video. That's like not everything, and not everything that was caught on video has been put into the document. So it's like
That's true too. It's just dumb. And,
there's so much.
but speaking of the rally, look how empty that is.
Is it very empty? Okay, see, so a lot of people on my social media, smaller than expected crowd trickles into Tulsa rally. I know that's bias wording.
That's
definitely.
very cunty.
My bad.
That
You
is-
can-
I know that's
scroll
like
through
the,
that,
I know that's like backhanded ass like shitty thing to say, but
I mean,
I agree with it, so I'm gonna give it a pass.
See, I'm gonna my girlfriend, she's recording it actually, all of it. So I'm gonna watch the footage and see what's actually happening. Now, granted, a lot of the people that tested positive while they were screening were not allowed in, and let me tell you, there were quite a bit of people tested positive, so those people didn't get to go in. So I don't know how many of those were.
Yeah, my annoyance with that whole thing is like, okay, I understand that
yeah.
the fucking protests and a Trump rally are two totally different things. I get that. At the same time, I think if you're a person that's gone out to one of these protests that have like several hundred or 1,000 people at them, all crowded together in a space, maybe it's a little dumb for you to fucking be bitching at the Trump people saying like, oh, they're gonna cause a fucking corona outbreak.
I mean, honestly, it's not even, you can't blame just the Trump people, because even Memorial Day weekend, I'll admit, I was on the river chilling with my peeps, obviously, but man, there were so many people there, and I know a lot of them they're not all Trump people. I mean, there's people that I knew that were not Trump people, and they're gonna spread it too.
All I'm saying, man, is like if you're supporting the protests and shit, or you're going out to the protests, maybe it's a little hypocritical of you to be saying like, oh, these people shouldn't be getting together in this crowd to fucking do all this shit because it's gonna be a corona risk. Like, you didn't fucking care to go to this thing.
Yeah, I agree. See, I think honestly, like as much as I'm like I don't agree with people that want to go to a Trump rally to support him. I fucking hate that Trump is in the position of power that he's in. I think that the way that they're reacting to a Trump rally, where like everyone's like, this is totally fine, people can voice their political opinions and their thoughts and their support for this cause and this politician, that's fine. I think that should be applied to the peaceful protest.
Yeah.
See, and it's hypocritical on both sides. What you're mentioning, it's hypocritical that the people who are not wanting the Trump rally were protesting, and Trump being hypocritical because he's saying protests shouldn't happen because Corona is going to outbreak, but he's wanting the people to come to the rally to support that ideal. But also, so in reality, at the end of the day, we're all hypocrites. So, and that's what's happening is like, we're, oddly enough, people might not like this, but even though you're supposed to not be a hypocrite, this is a hypocrite culture that we're in, because either that or a contradicting culture you're supposed to be a part of.
There's a lot of contradiction. It's a lot of picking and choosing, like what's your like what's good and what's not, what you're gonna do, what you're not gonna do. But like more on the thing that's happening in like in Tulsa, the Trump rally though. I think it's one of the things that I love is like I do love, like I'm all for like First Amendments, like protesting. I love it. I love when people stand up for that shit. So one of the ways that people were like protesting the Trump rally was that people would reserve seats at the BOK Center that are not going to go there, and they helped make it more empty tonight. And that's,
I know a lot of people that did that in town.
I
too,
love
actually.
that. I did that. I reserved a couple seats and didn't go.
Yeah,
I'm here. But I'm reading this post from one of my friends, and they said that like his crowd was only 6,100. I know that that's a good amount of people, but like for the BOK Center, that is not packing the place out. There were no looting, no riots, multiple peaceful rallies throughout the city. I mean, sounds like it was a good time. It kind of reminds me of like the whole like, remember when the Joker movie came out and the media was like, people are gonna go out shooting each other because they saw Joker. I feel like that's a lot of the hype that went into this rally. People were like, it's gonna be like a big fight. It's gonna be a huge thing, and they kind of want it to be because they want that sensationalism. And I think Trump wanted that to happen because then he could spin it into something where he's like, yeah, look at how fucked up the country is. You guys need me. And all that, and you know.
How much time we at? It's like it's like past 10:30 right now.
It's past 10:30. Okay, well, I mean, we hit an hour. We got a good hour.
Yeah.
So we got like an hour 40-ish.
Yeah, exactly. We've got an hour 42.
All right, so we got plenty to work with. Well,
yeah, there's plenty there that I can.
I think in closing, people, the entire world's gone retarded. Just enjoy the time you got. Let's hope we live another 10 years. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you next time.